7 signs of a bad serpentine belt and how to fix it. Complete guide. If your car suddenly starts making a squealing noise, your battery light comes on, or your steering becomes hard, your serpentine belt could be the problem. This single belt drives multiple important components in your engine, and when it fails, it can leave you stranded without warning. In this video, you'll learn what a serpentine belt is, how it works, the warning signs of failure, what causes it to go bad, how to inspect it, and how to replace it properly. What is a serpentine belt? A serpentine belt is a long, continuous rubber belt that runs across multiple pulleys in your engine. It is responsible for driving important components such as the alternator, power steering pump, air conditioning compressor, and in some vehicles, the water pump. In some vehicle designs, it may also drive the radiator fan, which helps cool the engine. Compared to older V-belts, serpentine belts are more efficient, last longer, and require less maintenance. For example, when your engine is running, the crankshaft pulley turns the serpentine belt, which then powers these components. If the belt stops working, these systems will also stop working. How a serpentine belt works. The serpentine belt is connected to the crankshaft pulley, which rotates when the engine is running. As the belt moves, it spins different accessory pulleys. A tensioner keeps the belt tight, while idler pulleys guide its movement. This ensures smooth and consistent power delivery to all connected components. Now let's get into the symptoms of a bad serpentine belt, so you can easily identify the problem before it gets worse. But before we continue, kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel for more helpful car diagnostics, troubleshooting tips, and real repair guides. Symptoms of a bad serpentine belt. A failing serpentine belt will usually show clear warning signs. 1. Squealing or chirping noise. One of the most common symptoms is a squealing or chirping noise, especially during startup or acceleration. 2. Hard steering, loss of power steering. You may notice a loss of power steering, which makes the steering wheel difficult to turn. 3. Battery warning light. Another sign is the battery warning light, which indicates that the alternator is not charging properly. 4. Check engine light. You may also see a check engine light in some vehicles, depending on how the system monitors accessory performance. 5. Air conditioning not working. In some vehicles, the serpentine belt drives the air conditioning compressor. If the belt slips or fails, the AC may stop working properly. 6. Engine overheating. In some vehicles, the serpentine belt drives the water pump or cooling fan. If the belt fails, coolant circulation is affected, which can cause the engine to overheat. 7. Visible damage or burning rubber smell. You may see cracks, fraying edges, glazing, missing chunks, or even notice a burning rubber smell if the belt is slipping. In some cases, you may also notice flickering or dim headlights, or even the belt slipping or falling off completely. Now, let's take a look at a real-life scenario. Imagine you're driving and suddenly hear a loud squealing noise. Then your battery light comes on, and shortly after, your steering becomes hard. In most cases, this means your serpentine belt has either slipped or snapped, and your alternator and power steering are no longer working. If this happens while driving, it's important to pull over safely and turn off the engine to avoid further damage. What happens if you ignore it? Ignoring a bad serpentine belt can lead to serious problems. If the belt completely fails, your alternator will stop charging, your battery will drain, and your car may shut down while driving. In some vehicles, the engine can also overheat if the water pump stops working. This can turn a simple repair into a costly problem. Causes of serpentine belt failure. Several factors can cause the serpentine belt to fail. Normal wear and tear is the most common cause over time. Exposure to heat, oil, or coolant leaks can weaken the rubber. If you notice oil or coolant contamination on the belt, it is a strong sign that the belt should be replaced, and the source of the leak should be fixed. A faulty tensioner can cause improper belt tension, leading to slipping or noise. Misaligned pulleys can cause uneven wear. Foreign objects or debris entering the belt system can also damage or dislodge the belt. In some cases, a seized component such as the alternator or air conditioning compressor can damage or snap the belt. Driving conditions, such as dusty environments, frequent stop-and-go driving, or extreme heat can also shorten the lifespan of the serpentine belt. Serpentine belt versus timing belt. It is important not to confuse the serpentine belt with the timing belt. The serpentine belt drives external components like the alternator and power steering pump. The timing belt, on the other hand, controls the synchronization between the engine's camshaft and crankshaft to ensure proper engine timing. If a timing belt fails, it can cause severe engine damage, unlike a serpentine belt, which mainly affects accessory systems. How to inspect a serpentine belt? Start with a visual inspection. Check for cracks, frayed edges, glazing, missing ribs, chunks, or separation of layers on the belt. Next, check the belt tension. If the belt feels loose or too tight, the tensioner may not be working properly. With the engine off, try rotating the pulleys by hand. They should spin smoothly without resistance or noise. Also listen for unusual noises while the engine is running. A squealing sound often indicates slipping, misalignment, or a worn belt. Using a belt wear gauge. Some mechanics also use a belt wear gauge to check the condition of the belt ribs. This tool helps measure belt wear more accurately, especially on modern serpentine belts that may appear normal even when worn out. If the ribs are too worn or the belt sits too deep in the pulley grooves, replacement is recommended. Water spray test. Another simple diagnostic method is the water spray test. With the engine running, lightly spray a small amount of water on the ribbed side of the belt. If the squealing noise temporarily disappears, the belt may be worn or slipping. If the noise becomes worse, the problem may be caused by pulley misalignment or a faulty tensioner. Always keep your hands and tools away from moving components while performing this test. How to test related components. Check the alternator output using a multimeter. A healthy alternator should produce around 13.5 to 14.5 volts when the engine is running. Inspect the tensioner movement. It should move smoothly and maintain proper pressure on the belt. Check pulleys for wobbling or noise. Any resistance, grinding sound, or wobble usually indicates a faulty bearing. How to replace a serpentine belt. Before starting, locate the belt routing diagram in your engine bay. Use a wrench or breaker bar to release the tensioner. Carefully remove the old belt. Install the new belt following the correct routing path. Make sure the belt is properly seated on all pulleys. Release the tensioner slowly and double-check alignment. Start the engine and observe to ensure everything is running smoothly. Important tip: always replace the belt with the correct size and specification. It is also recommended to inspect or replace the tensioner and idler pulleys when installing a new belt. It is also important to follow your vehicle manufacturer's recommended service interval. In many cases, belts are inspected around 60,000 miles and replaced around 90,000 miles. How long does it take? Replacing a serpentine belt is usually a quick job. For most vehicles, it takes between 15 to 45 minutes depending on accessibility. However, in some cars where space is tight, it may take longer. Prevention. To prevent serpentine belt failure, inspect it regularly, fix any oil or coolant leaks early, and replace it at the recommended interval. Keeping the tensioner and pulleys in good condition will also extend the life of the belt. Common mistakes to avoid. Installing the belt incorrectly can cause immediate damage. Driving with an improperly installed belt can lead to serious engine or accessory damage. Ignoring a noisy tensioner can lead to premature belt failure. Using a low-quality belt can reduce lifespan and performance. Safety precautions. When working on your vehicle, always use proper safety equipment. This includes safety glasses, proper tools, and ensuring the engine is off and cool before starting work. What to do if the belt breaks while driving? If your serpentine belt breaks while driving, remain calm and pull over safely as soon as possible. Turn off the engine to prevent further damage, especially if the engine temperature starts rising. Avoid continuing to drive, as this can lead to overheating or complete system failure. Conclusion. The serpentine belt may seem like a simple component, but it plays a critical role in your engine's operation. Ignoring early warning signs can lead to sudden breakdowns and expensive repairs. The cost of replacing a serpentine belt is relatively low compared to the damage it can cause if it fails, making early maintenance very important. With proper inspection and timely replacement, you can prevent major issues and keep your engine running smoothly. Follow Exoni views for more car diagnostics, troubleshooting guides, and real fixes that actually work.